I genuinely had no idea what I was doing. It was a raging bull market in the Nasdaq, and I just kept shorting. Does that remind you of anything?
Yeah.
You know, that supermarket mentality, oh, it can't go any higher. Oh, but it did. It can't go any higher. Oh, but it did. And so I had so much to unlearn. And I wouldn't even say that I learned fast, but I learned because we learn through adversity. And those who didn't want to go to those, shall we say, the dark place, those that didn't want to do the review of their training account, their brokerage, how would they ever learn that from their mistakes? Ladies and gentlemen, I know this is a topic that perhaps is more akin to a Tony Robbins motivational seminar. But those of us who actually dare looking ourselves in the mirror and honestly reflect upon our weaknesses, those are the ones that will accelerate our growth. If we don't look at our trading performance, if we don't confront with our bad habits, we're never going to get anywhere. And I don't want to be the guy that just gives you platitudes and a feel-good speech about how we can all hate it, because you just all. But the irony is that every single one of us in here could make it to the top. And of course, I'm doing a talk like this because I'm a leading trader. And I know that there's a new generation of traders coming up, and I want to inspire them to dig deep, to push the boundaries. Do you know what's really interesting? What's really interesting that if you are a male between 18 and 30 and you want to qualify the Boston Marathon, you need to be able to run the marathon in 3 hours and 10 minutes or so. But did you know in 1908, I think his name was Joseph Wilson, could be wrong here, but he ran, and he made headlines all in the world. But he ran the marathon in the fastest time that was ever recorded, in 2 hours and 58 minutes. So 100 years ago, he was a sensation. Today, he would barely qualify for the Boston Marathon. So do you understand now, when I'm talking about my idea of pushing the boundaries as a trader, is in the full knowledge that in 100 years, my achievements would seem like, Jesus, my book would be shredded by now, because the understanding of the might role in performance would be so in bulk. But someone has to stop. Someone has to start that evolution of traders, because up until now, all we ever focused about was tools, Fibonacci, moving averages. Did you know that the Bible of technical analysis, Edwards and McGee, have you ever come across that? First of all, the atrocity is it's written by 2 journalists, not 2 traders. That's the one thing. And it's a 770-page tool. How many of those 770 pages were devoted to how the mind interacts when it's coming across fear? I tell you, 1 page mentions the word patience. 1 page. The rest of it is just how to. Well, shit, it's really easy to play golf, isn't it? Just pop bloody thing and that. But try it. The difference between you without with your mates on a Sunday afternoon, you're having a little bit of fun, or try to putt for the Augusta Championship. Well, maybe that's the part of the problem here, is that you're trying to chew more than you can. Thank you. You can, yeah. I need a little help with that. By the way, I once went on TV, and when something is set in stone, but my mind couldn't fathom that because stone seems porous to me, so I said that it was set in cement, which intuitively makes a lot more sense that something is set in cement than set in stone. But anyway, that maybe some lava and then.
On the area with the blocks.
I'll say to it, Duffy, if you really want to be good in something, you have to actually begin at a trading size that doesn't intimidate your mind. You have to start at a trading size that seems to be surmountable, possible, okay. Because whether you like it or not, going straight in with 100 lot, you won't pass. But imagine how quickly you could grow to 100 lot if you increased your lot size by 1 every fortnight. In a couple of years' time, you'll be trading bigger size that you could possibly be imagining, and is the purpose of what you want and why you're here. You want to be right, but when you're right, you don't want to be right in 10 lot. You want to be right in a 50 lot, because that's a lot more fun, that's a lot more exciting. And I know that this talk here may resemble something that you didn't want to hear and people are yawning, and that's absolutely fine. All you're doing is that you are absolutely enhancing my firm belief that in this industry, it's the 10% or less that succeed, because they are prepared to go to the places that a 90% will not go, because nobody wants to embrace their insecurities, their frailties, and their bad habits and their bad behaviors.
Yes, that's a dark place, that we gotta go to that dark place to figure it out. The market, like my computer screens in my office are like a direct reflection of myself, and I had to face a lot of those problems and fix it. That's the beautiful thing about trade, though. Like if you address these things, and you have the mindset to keep improving and to work on it, and to do what the small percentage of traders you're doing, the successful ones, successful come. But like too few people, they say they want it, but they don't really want. I show pictures of myself from the COVID times. I was willing to do whatever it took. I went to all those dark places, and I got it done. But like, how many who are willing to go that far, to go and make a success out of himself for trading? Because we have all the information. It's all over the internet. It's all over in your book. My book is coming out. I'm sharing a lot. In Fredericksburg University, I had everyone sign an NDA, and I'm putting it in a book now. So it's still like but with trading, it's evolving, and everybody needs to adapt. So like it's gonna be what the strategies I give now eventually is gonna catch on. You need to create new strategies and new strikes for the way I trade. But yeah, it's that mindset. You need to always just keep moving, and to show up and do whatever it takes. I know that whoever's yawning, I didn't say no yawn around me, but yawning is something that I know that. And so here at the City Club, I think I told you, they have the NFL alumni events, and I go on Mondays to go. The NFL retired players come, and they said they were eating lunch and they're joking around, and they're saying, yeah, well, we'll watch the film and the videos. If someone yawned, the coach would throw something at him, slap them across the head, So like but like it's, and if you yawned or if you dozed off, your job would be taken over. So it's like the players that really wanted to succeed, they had to like put in the extra work. It's like life to make it to the best of the best. And trading is like, it's like a professional sport. It's like the 1%, that's like percenters don't want to succeed. So a high failure rate.
It's good to come to these events for all of you, and including for me. When I lost badly on stage Monday, the dignity of it is my fuel. Can you imagine for a second what it's like to be a professional trader, and you go on stage with people you look up to, and you crash and burn? We saw that. Yeah, and you saw it. That's you. And I don't want for one moment to sit here like I am some paragon of perfection, because I am not. Everything I have done has been through grit. I wasn't blessed with intelligence. I wasn't blessed with fortunate circumstances. There was just little by little. And if I were you, depending on what it is that you want to achieve, and I know that those goals are different for every single one of you. Some of you are futures traders. Some of you, like Anna, where he is trades. He trades in a manner. I had some luck on it. I was nearly with my mouth open, listening to how he navigates these small cap stocks with very little liquidity. And I wonder, how on earth does he do that? For wherever you are and whatever you do, there must be a way for you to just step back and pause for reflection, going, how can I engage in deliberate practice? How can I task myself to train to become better? And that's perhaps where trading is a little more difficult, because we know what we would do if we were, say, playing golf, playing basketball, or whatever it may be. When it comes to trading, you have to use your your own, shall we say, inventiveness, your own ingenuity in trying to come up with approaches that will push you in a safe environment. For me, it comes down to 3 times a day in 1 hour session, or as I like to do, 6 sessions of 30 minutes, where I test myself in one of those playback features. And those playback features is as real as it comes. And it allows me a real life environment, but without the pressure of the trading, but challenging enough by itself. And frequently when I'm then in a real life situation, the motoring, the pattern behavior, I've seen this before. You know, one of the most interesting things from a non-trading environment that I've ever read was, and you have a trader over here called Victor Niederhofer. And Victor Niederhofer was terribly inspiring to me, not because of his trading, because he was a squash player. And I am absolutely enamored by squash. I knackered my shoulder, unfortunately, but if I play squash all day, I would. One of Victor Niederhofer's inspiration was a chess grandmaster called Dailies. And it was beyond interesting to see how a chess grandmaster practiced visualization through reading old chess books, through just placing chess pieces on the board and practicing how he would get out of a situation or what he would do in specific circumstances. And so if a chess grandmaster can sit in his caravan on a campsite in Cornwall, having shot himself away from his family to practice for the next major tournament, well, perhaps we can do with less draconian measures. We can find and devise our own needs, or whether it's trading futures or options. So what I'm hoping to do here today, the reason why I come all the way to Los Angeles, isn't to give you that tool that always works. Oh, there's some great tools and you'll get the PowerPoint presentation. Rather, it would try to inspire you to say, if you really want that elite level, you most likely have to stop looking outward for YouTube video and look inwards and say, well, how can I, with material I already have, how can I change how I train? Because at the end of the day, when we are settled to figure it, that will highly likely decide whether that's going to be a successful outcome or an unsuccessful outcome, depending on the practice that you have put in beforehand. And that's why I trade every single day in trade. As hard as it may be to understand that you can trade E-trade if you actually can. Now let me ask you a question, because you are very kind to ask me a question. So I want to ask you something. I asked the audience a moment ago, you're about, how old are you, 42 now? 41. So what is the next 10 years going to be so for you? How are you going to become better? And in turn, in the process of becoming better, you will become a better teacher to your students. Because if you don't have a plan for that, you will pass out.
No, absolutely. You put me on the spot, but I absolutely have a 5-year plan, I have a 10-year plan. The same way when I started the trading journey, I had a 5-year and 10-year plan, and now it's just growing and it's just stacking up. I never thought that this would happen within a few years. You know, it's like I went from unprofitable to profitable to then making exponential money and having all my dreams to done. I got to make you evolve from dreams with vision. And they're bigger. So, yeah, the world is opening up to me now. So like now I have that 5-year plan, that 10-year plan. And, you know, eventually I want to design my own buildings and build how I want. I want to fund and design my own projects. So, and come back to architecture on my own terms.
So you want to go away for trading?
Well, this is like in my older years. You know, this is the fact that, like I'm talking about, like 7 years old. So some of the architects that I studied that I like, they all...
And so I'm 56 years, over years, they'll be 4, 6. What does that make me?